The year is 2001. Mega movie franchises such as Shrek, Harry Potter, and Lord of the Rings are making their debuts in cinemas. LEGO reinvented the wheel with the introduction of the Bionicle theme, taking the world by storm. And I'm not going to comment on any major events that happened around the globe in the year 2001 for some obvious reasons. Let's just say there were some certain big headlines from this year. It also just so happened to be the third year of LEGO Star Wars, and junior year is often considered to be the hardest year in school, so would LEGO Star Wars suffer at its third at-bat? Let's find out just that. Without further ado, here are my picks for the top 10 best LEGO Star Wars sets of 2001. Before I begin, I wanted to make one really quick note that only 10 total sets were released this entire year for the LEGO Star Wars theme, making it the single smallest release we've ever seen from this theme in any given respective year. Now, I'm still going to refer to this video as a top 10 list to stay in line with my other videos of this sort. However, this is more of a worst to best ranking, and some of these sets frankly aren't that good, they just made the list by default. With that out of the way, let's dive into the countdown. Number 10, 8008 Stormtrooper. The set number's a palindrome. I just noticed that. That's actually really fun, and that's gonna be my highest praise for this set because frankly, this thing sucks. LEGO experimented in the early 2000s with all sorts of Technic-based Star Wars sets. Some of them are good, some of them are bad, and some of them hardly even resemble the characters they're supposed to represent, like this Stormtrooper. I mean, seriously, look at the helmet design there. Maybe if you squint, you can kind of see a Stormtrooper, but honestly, it just looks awful if you ask me. I'm not gonna sit here and rant about this set any longer, just look at a picture and tell me if you think it deserves any higher than last place in this video. Additionally, this will definitely go down in history as the worst LEGO Star Wars set to ever make a top 10 video for the respective year it was released. So I guess it has that record going for it, but yeah, this set sucks. Number 9, 8007 C3PO. Honestly, this Technic C3PO is not that much better than the Stormtrooper, but at least it's recognizable. You see this and you're like, yeah, that's C3PO. It's a pretty bad looking C3PO, but it's still recognizable. Although the color choices here are just kind of whack, if you ask me. It looks more like the unfinished C3PO from the Phantom Menace than the one it's supposed to be replicating from the original trilogy. So I would still say this is a pretty bad set, but it's a little bit better than the Stormtrooper, so it's at number 9. Number 8, 7127 Imperial AT-ST. Thankfully, only 2 Technic sets were released this year, but this Imperial AT-ST is not that much better. It's definitely the worst brick-built playscale set from 2001. There are 2 things I love about this set. It was only $10 upon release, and it included Chewbacca, who wasn't super common at this point in time, and getting an iconic character like Chewie in such a cheap set is a major win. Also, having a vehicle like the AT-ST for only 10 bucks is dope. I wish LEGO would release more iconic vehicles in cheap sets like this. However, the AT-ST they gave us just didn't really come together if you ask me. I understand the inclination to want to add little splashes of color to have like rust details, but they added so much brown and so much tan that it kind of comes off as being an accent color and it just looks wrong. Additionally, the design just really isn't that good. It's very small, it's a bit dinky. The function for the legs I think was just miscalculated. Yeah, this set doesn't work. It's definitely the worst playscale brick-built vehicle from this year. Number 7, 7106 Droid Escape. I think there's a major jump in quality from this set compared to the previous 3 sets we just talked about. I like this Droid Escape set. It was $6. It included R2-D2 in our first ever LEGO C3PO, and it has some really great printed elements. All of that works well. Ultimately, it is just an escape pod, not the coolest build ever, but it works for the time period. One thing I don't like though is the complete and utter lack of an interior. That felt very lazy to me, and I hate how you basically just throw the droids inside there like it's a bottle. That's a little weird. Not a great set by any means, but it's classic. It was a good value, it has good minifigures, and is much better than those previous 3 sets we talked about. Number 6, 7126 Battle Droid Carrier. This set was relevant last year in the news cycle because LEGO directly remade this for the 25th anniversary of the Phantom Menace gift with purchase from May 4th, and I liked that GWP. I like this original set. It's not the most accurate when compared to the source material from the Phantom Menace, but it has its own unique charm, especially with the brown color scheme. And it was a $10 set with lots of battle droids. This basically was one of the OG battle packs, if not specifically named such. I think you'll find out why this set didn't make the top 5. It's just not quite as epic as some of the other products from this year, but that is by no means a damning thing about this product. I think it's really solid still. Number 5, 7146 TIE Fighter. It kind of baffles me it took until the 3rd year of LEGO Star Wars for them to give us a proper normal TIE Fighter, but they delivered in 2001. This also included the first ever Stormtrooper figure. That's even more baffling. Why on earth was there not a proper Stormtrooper figure until the 3rd year of the theme? Those frustrations aside, this was a pretty solid TIE Fighter set. I have complained plenty of times about the whack color scheme LEGO used to use for TIE Fighters. Obviously, black and blue is not the proper color scheme of these vehicles from the movies, but the shaping here was really well done. They just nailed the shape of a TIE Fighter. It was only 20 bucks, a great value, it was very swooshable. It's a solid model and definitely worthy of being in the top 5. Number 4, 10018 Darth Maul. I feel like this year can be divided up into 3 tiers. Those first 3 sets were just bad. They were not good sets at all. The next 3 were solid sets, especially for their time period. And these final 4 are pretty excellent sets, especially for 2001. This Darth Maul bust is one of the more infamous UCS sets, and with good reason. It's the only one of its kind. It's a bust of Darth Maul made entirely out of bricks. But for 2001 and all the primitive pieces LEGO had back then, the shaping is really nice, the details are accurate, and it's very striking on display. Busts of, more humanoid characters aren't really my cup of tea, which is why this set's only at number 4, but I have to acknowledge the objective qualities of this build. Number 3, 7186 Watto's Junkyard. This was kind of a random set to be released in 2001. There were only a couple of Phantom Menace products from this year, and something about this set has always just blown me away. I love the pod racer design here for Aldarbido, and his exclusive figure was awesome, and we also got the Watto figure here was exclusive, and his molding looked great as well. Just having a junkyard was a fun concept for a LEGO set, and I would love to see LEGO remake this at some point in time, and they give you all these elements to build a different pod racer as well, adding to the original pod racer sets from 1999. All of that is great. This has been a white whale play scale set for me for quite some time. Unfortunately, it's worth like $300 used and $500 sealed, so I'm not sure I'm ever going to get this set, but it's a very unique LEGO Star Wars set and worthy of being in the top 3 of this video. Number 2, 7166 Imperial Shuttle. It goes without saying, the Imperial Shuttle is one of the most iconic vehicles in all of Star Wars, and LEGO has made it many times throughout the years. This is definitely not the best Imperial Shuttle. Obviously, some of the design techniques are more primitive when compared to newer renditions of this vehicle, but this set for the time period looked great, the shaping was fantastic, and it included the Emperor and his royal guards for the first time ever. Additionally, $35 felt like a steal for this set, and I think it has aged really nicely personally. This set is awesome. It's one of the better original versions of a particular LEGO Star Wars vehicle they've ever done. It looks great, in my opinion. But there's one set from this year that's better than that Imperial Shuttle, and honestly, it wasn't even a discussion. And that set is number 1, set number 10019, Rebel Blockade Runner. Otherwise known as the Tantive 4 or the Tantive IV. If you call this the Tantive Eve, I just don't have words for you. Learn how Roman numerals work, please. But LEGO called the original version of this ship the Rebel Blockade Runner, and this is such an immaculate looking design that has stood the test of time. I actually saw this set in person for the first time ever at my local Bricks and Minifigs a few weeks ago, and I was blown away at how well shaped this vehicle was for a set that's now 24 years old. It looks amazing. It's also humongous, and I think it probably is still the best version of the Tantive 4 they've ever done. All of the newer ones don't even come close to this. Ahead of its time is not even an apt description for this set. It is like eons ahead of its time. Oh my goodness. They just absolutely knocked this out of the park. I don't think there's any discussion about which which set from 2001 was the best. Which is why, obviously, set number 10019, Rebel Blockade Runner, is, in my opinion, by far the greatest 2001 LEGO Star Wars set of all time. But those are just my thoughts. Please let me know yours in the comment section down below. Comment with your own personal list. And thank you all so much for tuning into today's video. Have a fantastic rest of your day. Peace out. God bless. Bye-bye.